You're listening to the Crystal Clarity Podcast. Well, hey, you want to stick around for today's episode 26 if you like growing things, if you have houseplants, if you have a garden, and you want to know the most simple way to work with stones to help your plants. There is a stone, selenite, that is really good with plants. It has such a green thumb. Selenite has such a green thumb. So in the episode today, I want to tell you why selenite works, what their connection is, the properties and the metaphysics of and the origin story of selenite that really makes it work. And then simply move you into a really simple practice of how do you do the most simple but lovely like acupuncture treatment with selenite on your house plants, your garden plants, or even a tree. So stick around if you love growing things and you really want to work with selenite to bring plants back to life. Your plants are going to thank you for this. There are going to be some that you save its life with selenite. So I'll see you inside the episode. Hello and welcome back. You've made it to episode 26 of the Crystal Clarity Podcast. My name is Sarah Thomas. I'm so happy that you're here. I turned this on to record this and my computer here says 11, 11, 11 because it's the 11th and it's 11, 11. And this told me, okay, this is perfect. This episode is important. We're going to talk about how selenite, right, is aligned to help your plants grow and to repair them. And this is one of my favorite applications of stone medicine, actually. It's so practical, it's so accessible, it's fun for me. And my mom has an incredible green thumb. She can bring any plant back to life. I love giving her plants and like house plants and being like, will you fix this? And she always gives them back to me a year or two later, like growing like wild. And I don't think I inherited her same green thumb. I mean, I know I didn't. I'm challenged with growing in plants, but I still try. I love my house plants, and I just got my tomatoes in the ground and I just harvested all my lettuce. So we're done with the lettuce. It started to bolt and I have an herb garden going, and I just ate a strawberry off the little strawberry tree. So I try, and I love plants. And one of my favorite things to do is offer them selenite to grow. And I've seen selenite and plants have this beautiful symbiotic relationship, and it's because selenite has an incredible relationship with the light. So the spiritual light, the metaphysical light, the light of the divine, and the physical light of the sun. Selenite is able to mirror, reflect, and amplify light. So it really just brings more light. And I think that's why plants love it. And today I want to talk to you about how I kind of do this really simple acupuncture process with selenite on my plants. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'm an acupuncturist, by the way, and I work with stone medicine to heal people. And today we're going to talk about working with stone medicine as an acupuncture practice really on your plants. And it's so simple. So it's like the simplest possible thing that we could do with selenite and plants. But as we go into this, let me just say that I love selenite. This is one of those stones that I could be like, oh, it's just been around forever. I'm bored with it. But I love selenite, and it's because I love the light. It's because I love, this medicine question of what is the light. I love the fact that we can heal by just drawing light to a place, to a person. I love the fact like how simple that is, like just becoming a conductor for light. We've been talking about that in the past 3 episodes. I love being a student of that. Like I love being a humble receiver of that. And selenite does too. It captures light through the chatoyancy and mirrors it and reflects it through its fibrous being. And in that way, it amplifies it. So because it's growing season, let's talk about selenite and how you can use it to bring a sick plant back to life, and how you can do this little acupuncture process with it and why it works. So something that we don't often talk about with selenite is that it's actually an evaporate mineral, meaning that it's seawater, salt water evaporates and it leaves behind, like when the sun is drying it up, it's left behind this selenite mineral, which is gypsum. It's a common gypsum mineral. And it leaves behind this mineral that's made of calcium and sulfite and has water in it, and it has some like sulfur in it. So there's a sulfur ion and a water ion together, and it's like known for the gentle transmutation of energy through its relationship to the light. And this is so cool because it's really, so think of an evaporation process. It's the hot sun, the fire controls water. The hot sun dries up the water, and the fire feels so powerful because usually the water is so powerful, can burn out any fire, right? Water's like super powerful, but in the evaporation process, fire gets to win and the sun gets to dry up that water. And when something is formed through an evaporation process, that water is lifted away. What we have there is a mineral that holds the energy, holds the vibrational energy of gentle transmutation, of gentle release, because to evaporate is to like gently disappear. And so selenite always helps things gently disappear. It helps this gentle transmutation. So it's like the attraction of the light creating gentle transmutation. And we love gentle transmutation. It's good on our nervous systems, It's like for all of us, we're like, yeah, I'm ready for anything to transmute back to the light in the most gentle way possible. And I feel like if selenite had a podcast, that would be the title of the podcast. Let's work with light to transmute energy in the most gentle way possible. So we use it to clear people, and we use it to clear things. And part of it is because it's that evaporate mineral. It's also fibrous in the long ways direction. Okay. So if you have like a selenite bar, those fibers grow along the whole length of the bar, right? It would be like if the fibers were growing straight up your spine. So they grow, it would be like the fibers are growing vertically straight up your spine. So it's like growing long ways, right? Those fibers go long ways. Just like a kyanite blade, how the blade of the mineral grows long ways. When you have something that the fibers or the blades of it grow long ways like that, it represents Qigong in Chinese medicine. Qigong is like what elongates, what grows. And it represents yang. It's the seed of yang. Yang is about growing. It's about becoming and elongating, right? So yang is like our sexual fire is yang. It's like growing, elongating. Like if we wanted to help somebody grow or elongate like sexually, we would use something like selenite or kyanite because it helps you go long and strong. So that's just all that really is about, is yang. It's about growing strong. So we can use minerals like this for like someone who's going through growing pains or someone who's growing really fast. It's all about growth. And so selenite has that with it, and it also has this relationship to the light. So we start to see why it's connected to growing things and helping plants. Plants are all about just shooting straight up to the light, right? Selenite's like it's shooting straight up to the light too. So you have these like, the laws of nature are actually really simple. When you look at something that evaporate, its birth process is through evaporation, fire kind of controlling water. And then you see that helps other things evaporate, gently transmute. It's those laws of nature are always simple. And minerals are a part of that. Stones are a part of that. It's not like, everything else, plants and everything else heals except stones don't. No, this is the Tao. Everything is one. It's like everything's a part of that. Everything has a purpose. So now that's part of why selenite works so well with plants. In fact, that long ways growth is why selenite actually works good with plantain too. Plantain has a long ways ribbony growth on its leaves, and both of them are cooling. See, the cooling is part of the evaporation process too. But here's the theme. I'm trying to keep these episodes to 10 minutes. So let me get back to the way that I work with selenite in plants, okay? So I have this box of selenite here with me. All this selenite. I'm going to hold this up. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this, but if you're listening, I'm just holding up all these little chips of selenite. I love this box of selenite chips. It's amazing. It's like, and see how much it picks up the light? Like I'm holding this up and these like, okay, let me just glow for you, right? Like the light is funny in this room, yet the selenite's just going to pick up all the light as soon as I hold it up. So I have all these chips of selenite, and what I do is the most simple thing is just to offer them to the soil, offer them to the soil around the plant. And if the plant is in a pot, you just want to plop them down into the pot, and then they're going to be reflecting light back up at the plant too. Instead of the plant just getting light from above or wherever the light source is, the selenite's also going to reflect light back to the plant from below. So the simplest thing is just offer selenite to the plant. Just put it around it, just offer it. Put it in the pot, put it around the tomato plants. Like, have little pieces like this that you can just offer. Put it next to it. Now, one step further is if you want to do some acupuncture on the plant with selenite, you can use selenite as the needle. Look at all these little selenite needles. They're just tiny little pieces of selenite I'm holding up here. Look, it's like a selenite needle. I'm just holding up these tiny, I dumped out this little bag of selenite chips. I love selenite for orgonite too. It's like everything about growing. And like, the conduction of chi and energy with that yang energy inside it. So here's what you do. I love this because it's so, it will help you understand that you're already an acupuncturist, that you can feel the energy system of something, the energy body of something, and everything has these rivers of energy flowing through it. It's like we're all just this river network of flowing energy. And that's what kind of comes in first, and then the rest of form fills in after that. And in acupuncture, we're just like, mostly we're just unblocking those rivers and connecting any disconnected frequencies. So it's like we're just gently removing some blocks from the river so they flow well. And then sometimes we'll kind of connect one to another and just remind one that another's there. So it's connection and unblockage, because the whole thing is whole and perfect as it is. We're just kind of there to like help along. So everything is these living fields of energy, like rivers. And if you go up to a plant that is like sick, all you do is sit there and feel the whole energy system of the plant for a moment. And it's completely about feeling. It's not about thought. It's not like, oh, well, there's a dead leaf over here, so I put it there. There's no categorical knowledge here. There's no concept, okay? All you do is feel the energy of the plant, feel it as a whole system, and then completely intuit, if I could put one point of light into this system, where would I put it? And then you place that selenite right where you feel your yes. If I could put one point of light into the system, where would I put it? And then pretend like you know exactly what you're doing. Just be like, fully let yourself go into your intuitive self. Just feel through this. You're going to get it right, okay? It's like there's no way to get it wrong. And then you just feel the whole system and be like, okay, if I could put one point of light into this system, like this is like putting in the needle, where would I put it? And you're going to feel like a dead space or a blocked space or something that feels kind of like numb. You're going to feel a part that needs life, that needs that light. You don't have to conceptualize any of this. It's just you're going to feel a part that's like, oh, I would like to hold the point of light. And then you put that selenite there, right in that spot. There's going to be this place in the base of the plant that's exactly where it goes. And that's your 1 point selenite treatment for the plant. Now, I get even a little bit fancier sometimes, and I love watching my plants come back to life. I have a plant on my porch that was like, it was on its way out, and I did this little treatment on it, and it's like growing so many leaves right now and so healthy. You can actually take a little piece of selenite, and if your plant has like branches and, like heavier branches, and you can actually tape a piece of selenite on the branch, a small piece. You can feel like, where's the point that I need to put this on the plant? And you can actually tape a small piece of selenite on it. And I'm talking a small piece, but it's almost like you're actually needling the plant. You can just put a tiny little piece of tape, or you could rest it up there if it's possible to rest it. And if you can just stick it up there, like in the place, it's like you're needling the plant. And this really works. I feel like it brings things back to life, like double fast as if you did everything else right. monatomic elements are something that we add to plants, right, to make them grow like crazy. And crystals have that portal within them, that portal to the singularity within them. That's where monatomic elements come from. It's the mineral kingdom. So this is quite like adding a little portal to the singularity, a little portal to the oneness into your plant in the form of selenite, which is a representation of light, and light with a capital L, the light that comes from heaven. Can you trust me enough to try this with one of your plants, and trust yourself enough to just where you feel that the selenite needs to be placed, completely trust, where it is. I already feel you knowing where it is. I can feel you figuring this out. So place the selenite in that one acupuncture point location if you can. And if you want to actually tape it on the branch somewhere, you can do that too. Trust yourself. Okay? This is y'all. This is growth. This is an amplification of the light. Your plants will really thank you for it. And I will see you in episode 27. Thank you for coming.